Okay, we're streaming. It's easy enough to set up. I was so tired yesterday also. I could not move after the trade rooms were over yesterday morning. I fell asleep. Fell asleep. No joke. I never nap or do anything like that during the day. Yeah, how come when you leave an open order, it's never a huge winner? Sometimes it is. Now, I would say I've had some good winners, accidental winners. I have. But more often than not, Calvin, it certainly does seem like when you make a mistake, you lose a fortune. Like, look, this morning I had the wrong time on the oil trade. That was like a $500 trade, easily. It was a perfect breakout. I put the time in wrong. It happens. Too many things, too many setups at one time. So let's go over carefully all the setups. So MNQ, I have two setups for the market open, and I'm going to put a third on. I'm going to put a magnet on just to watch signals. I do anticipate that the new magnet will be released this week. Everybody keep an eye on your email. Once we get through Festival of Traders on Wednesday. Festival of Traders is tomorrow. It's an important uh, webinar. I'll put the link in. Once that's over, then I'll start emailing for our magnet release. It really is being released. It really is done. Um,
Effective Fed Fund rate
I know it's
unchanged
been
at
totally
3.64%.
frustrating, but is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. Is it? You see me trading it. It's got so many great features, so it'll be out before the weekend. Probably do a webinar Friday to release it. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking. Unless I run into something horrifying while I'm testing this week. I'm testing the final version right now and everything looks good. There are some things that I never get to test. I mean, it's impossible to test every feature. There's so many new features. So I'm going to put a magnet on the MNQ to watch signals. So I'm adding a third strategy to my MNQ chart. And I don't need it on high. Actually, I'm going to put it on high of day, low of day with a proximity of 3. And I'll do 3 contracts, just going for the high or the low. That's what I'm going for, the high or the low. The stop is 100 because the MNQ, when I just looked before, was right in the middle. Now, just for fun, I'm going to set up the reverse continue also, just like I would if it was external. Stop is 75, target is 50. 2 contracts. That's it. Just a simple reverse continue setup. Labeling it MNQ magnet. And I'm also going to set up the ARS management. What does that mean? There's a bunch of different buttons that let you trade different systems within the magnet. There's multiple trading systems within the magnet, and I'll explain that in the next class. When the magnet's released, that's what we'll go over, the things that weren't covered in the first class. First target will be 50. Target 2 will be 75, and my stop will be 75. And that's strictly just for testing. The thing to remember about the magnet, the new one, when you get it, You don't have to worry about all the internal buttons and trading. You can just use the external reverse continuation that we always use. That's the easiest way to get into a quick trade. You see a signal, trade a reverse continue in the direction of your signal, the way you want to trade it. That's the easiest way. But we put a lot of extra features in the magnet for someone who doesn't have our other software. So it's a full system by itself. All right, so apply it, okay it. So I have a magnet, I'm going to be looking at signals. Now it's generating a whole bunch of signals because it's chopping around the VWAP. I'm ignoring those at the moment. I'm looking for signals for high and low. In fact, I think I'm going to turn off my VWAP signals at the moment. Because I'm not trading the VWAP. I'm expecting a test of the high or the test of the low on the NQ, MNQ, all right, for the open. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not interested at the moment of testing the VWAP, so I'm just looking for highs and lows. Then we have our breakout. So let's test our bracket. We're a little bit far away. These are pretty big levels. Let's test our bracket one more time. So we have our regular breakout, our morning breakout on the MNQ. 929.59, bracket of 35. And I have the usual number of contracts that I trade. Targets of 30 and 100, stop of 150. Target one stop move goes to break even. So that's our breakout. Right now the time is on 0 and our breakout is in sim because we want to see the bracket width.
Order
See,
submitted.
that's a little
Order
tight.
canceled.
You want a little bit wider bracket to trade the breakout at the open. I think the bracket might be a
Order
little small
submitted.
this morning. You might be able to get away with a 40. Just watching.
Order canceled.
Right now my bracket's 35. I'm going to leave it. You have the opportunity to use whichever one you want. It's just easier to use the external one. That's the real reason. And when you use the external one, you can still trade a magnet. But in theory, you can't do both at the same time anyway. So reverse continue one more time because I was talking so much. I mean the breakout. 929.59 on the bracket. Activation time. 35 bracket. Targets 30 and 100. Stop of 150.
Israel says that Iran is firing cluster bombs at Israeli civilians.
Labeled breakout. All right. Applied and okayed. And the time is going to be back to 9:29. And it is, and let's make sure our counts are correct. 32. All right. I want to separate the various accounts this morning. Let me go to the RTY. I want to get the RTY set up properly. Okay, first things first, RTY has a reverse continue. Look at the MNQ. RTY reverse continue. One position, 35 ticks, 35 stop. And that's in a healthy, slightly profitable prop account. Okay, so that's our reverse continue. Then we have on RTY. I feel like I made a mistake yesterday on the RTY. Should not have allowed the RTY to go long yesterday on the open. This morning, I think it can go either way. But I think yesterday morning, I'm sorry I let it go long. I'm going to load our RTY open. But it was difficult for everybody that I talked to that had setups for the RTY yesterday. I didn't talk to anyone that had a winning RTY setup yesterday in the morning. So we have a range trade scalp. It's like a short range trade, just 20 seconds. Is it 20? Yeah, it looks 50 to 10. Triggering at 9:29.50. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below. Show the graphics on chart. Two positions with a 12 tick target and a 25 tick stop. So that's our RTY range trade. RTY looks like good magnets too. Let me see if I understood your question. Roz, I don't think I'm understanding your question. Using the internal one. No, you can still set the magnet. You just have to be careful, make sure you don't trade both setups at the same time, which is also true if you use the external one or the regular one, the one that's built in. Like for instance, right now, if I turn the magnet on, I don't want to be using a reverse continue. I'm trading the magnet, okay? If I'm watching both, then I can trade whichever one appears to be getting close to a fill that I want to take. Just looking, I'm not changing my brackets, I'm just looking. And then our YM setups, we had our usual reverse continue on the YM, 35 tick target, 35 stop, and I will turn the auto mode on. If the YM decides to make a new high or a new low, that's my magnet. That's my magnet trade on the YM. I do think it's going to test the VWAP, right? That's an interesting magnet also. It's about 50 ticks away from the VWAP previous open. It's a double magnet. So that's a good test. It's probably going to test that level right at the open. Now, maybe if I was just trading the YM, I would do that and then go back to the high of day, low of day. But I have my MNQ to watch. I've got So I'm going to pass on the VWAP, though I think that's a really good setup. I think just random price movement is going to get there. It's not even that it's so great a magnet. It's just
1 minute's going to
random
activate the
open
market on
price
open
movement
imbalance
should get
data.
there. Now, finally, there probably was a good VWAP signal. If I put the VWAP signals back on, which I'm not going to because we're going into the open right now, on the MNQ, we probably would have had a long VWAP signal at some point that made sense rather than just choppy signals.
10 seconds.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Okay, immediate
Market on
profit
open imbalance.
on the
S&P 500 sell
MNQ.
side 120 million.
Now
Nasdaq 100 sell
it's
side
so see the
14.5
VWAP got
million.
Order
tested on the
submitted.
Dow sell
YM.
side 0.6 million.
Here's the
Maximum sell side 11.7 million.
RTY, the RTY range. Should have really done that VWAP on the YM. That was a good setup. It was instant. Now, maybe you would have, even with a mediocre fill, it went pretty far past it, right? RTY looks like it's going to fill long.
Order submitted.
I think I have my RTY
Order
on the
filled.
wrong chart. Do I? Where did I put it? 35. Yep, RTY did not work. I did not trade that funded. Not funded.
Seeing Qualcomm shares dropping 2.6% after Bank of America Global Research reinstates coverage with underperforming rating.
Order submitted.
RTY taking a short, one contract. Stop above the previous
Seeing a report here that
open.
Carrier and Tesla and industry leaders are to launch campaign to lower electricity costs by unlocking
See if I can
underused
survive
grid
this.
capacity.
I don't think I'm going to survive that scalp. Not funded. That's the only good thing. MNQ looks like it's going to test that high. Yes? You've got everything saying it's going to test the high. You could
Order
just
filled.
turn the magnet on. You could just turn the magnet on. Let it trade the magnet if it's going to test the high. Remember, I was just watching signals. RTY, just not well done. Not well done. Looks like the RTY might test the magnet to the high side, not to the low side. And I think we're just too far away from the highs and lows on the YM to get a setup. Too far away. So I think that's not going to happen because it's far. You're looking over 100 and almost 200 points from the low.
Euro 3-month cross-currency basis swaps fall to 0.65%, the low since April 2025.
There's a YM VWAP signal to the short side. That's my funded account, so I think it's a good signal. But now I'm so late with it, and it's very choppy, very choppy, very choppy. So I feel like I'm chasing if I do it, but it's working. It's going to test the low. Let it go all the way back up to the VWAP, right? Let it go back up to the VWAP. RTY's had a bad week. Two crappy setups in a row. I still think, well, no, it looks like it's going to test the high. I don't know. RTY, I don't know if I want to trade it again. I don't know that instrument as well as I know other ones. See why I don't want to, I didn't want to chase that YM. We're pretty choppy here. Big candles up and down. I think I'm going to just wait for um, existing homes. We're going to stay here and wait for existing homes. I need to heat my coffee. Yeah, RTY has not been trading well this week. This week. MNQ was a good setup. Can't complain about the MNQ this morning. And then YM, I should have done what I knew was the best setup, just traded the VWAP because it was close and it was viable. I still think the YM is going to make a new high or a new low, but it might be a while because it's far. It's far from it. So I'm just watching at the moment. Just watching at the moment.
Elon Musk says X Money early public access will launch next month.
Just watching, folks. So everything is kind of staying near where our orders went on the chart at the open. In other words, the MNQ is a little bit higher than where the orders went on the chart. The YM is a little bit lower than it was because remember, we were thinking about the VWAP being a good test.
City shares rise 3.4% in the
I'm
biggest
not
jump since
seeing
February
tremendous
25th.
momentum in any direction that makes me want to take another trade. So a good open on the MNQ, a missed opportunity on the YM. Okay. Going to turn off the MNQ breakout. We don't need that setup anymore. So it can be removed. The YM RTY open can be removed. It's right at the VWAP. See, just when you think you're ready to go short, it pops on you this today. That's what we're seeing. Difficult scalping at the moment. All right, I'm going to leave everything set up. I'm going to heat my coffee. If the NQ goes up, it's going to probably test the high. If it breaks those orders, I'll be right back.
Citi shares gaining as company expects mid-teens growth in Q1 investment banking fees.
Okay, nothing much happened here, right? Nothing much happened. So let's get ready for existing homes. Bear with me here. I have an ex-wife asking me a question. She's so crazy. She's so crazy. That's why she's an ex-wife. Hang on. Send me a picture. All right, so I'm done with RTY. All right. I don't hate the RTY, but I don't know it as well as I know other instruments. Now, I may go to magnets on the RTY. That might be the way that I want to trade the RTY. I like trading it, but I think that I want to go to magnets in the morning. I think we might have better success. Also, it's only been a couple of opens that it hasn't worked. It really has been working pretty well. Um, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Now, trading existing homes does have quite a bit of risk. Let me tell you why. So existing homes has been an excellent, excellent trap trade, but it was a fairly small trap trade. It was a fairly small trap trade. Now with gold, crazy. And it's been less crazy, but gold is still pretty wild. So that's a pretty good signal. I'm just in my funded account on a choppy day right now, so I'm hesitating. It's a very big stop. It's almost 100 tick stop on this trade, so I'm not jumping into it. But obviously, I just left it was a good signal. That was a profitable trade right there. Now, if it tests the low, if it breaks my order, I do believe the YM will test the low. If it breaks that order, that's a big sell-off. All right, that's a pretty big sell-off. So I'm going to get rid of my MNQ chart. We made our money on the MNQ open. Existing homes is a gold trade, GC0426. Gold up $119. I would prefer a long. That's what I would prefer on existing homes. I'd prefer a long. All right.
Order submitted.
Taking a little bit of a scalp here on the YM. For an early test of that low. And I mean just the scalp. I'm not going to stay in it very long.
Order
All
filled.
right, now I'm waiting for the magnet. All right. Made about 75 bucks on that scalp. Now I'm waiting for the magnet. All right. I took that signal way too late. That's why I didn't want to stay in it very long. We don't have a DMM for RTY. It's not a DMM trade. If gold wants to break that order level, I do think it'll test the low. YM, I mean, if I said, did I say gold? I mean YM. Now on gold, I'm going to put a reverse continue on the chart. First, let's shrink our gold charts. Let's look at our levels here. What's going on with gold? Gold's got a double magnet, low of the day PP. It's very far away. Not going to happen probably. Not on existing homes, but at some point, that's an excellent magnet. It's a double. VWAP looks very interesting if you were going to trade gold magnets, but it's a trap trade. It's a trap trade. Normally, it's been a trap trade of like 20, 25, and 40. We're going to double our traps. We're going to go much bigger and try to make the money back in that RTY account that got wrecked by bad scalping. All
ExxonMobil
right?
has
That's
evacuated
what I'm going to
non-essential
do
employees
with
from
my gold
operations in the
trade,
Middle East.
with my trap. So, existing homes, which is an event that I like to trade, I do understand that it is a difficult trap trade because we just don't know in this existing market how far gold can go. That's the big issue. How big is big enough for the tiers? That's the risk. 9, 59, 55 on the trigger. 959, 55 on the trigger. Stop is 30. It's a big stop. Tier 1 is 45. Tier 1 is 40. 75 on tier 2. So it's got to move 100 ticks or more to stop us out. I don't think existing homes will move gold 100 ticks. I don't. So I think there's a good opportunity. It'll make a fill and reverse just because gold is got the ability to go in either direction. The concern today is gold is very bullish, so I'd rather see the price go down and fill us long to get the reversal to the upside. That's what I'd rather see. Okay? I'd rather get filled in the direction of the event, of the instrument. 40 on tier 1, 75 on tier 2, labeling it Trap GC. Our last, I'll try to show the video. So I'm going to trade it in that RTY account. All right. See if we can get some of that money back. And let me put the time on 0. We'll put the chart on sim for a moment. You can show your tiers where they're going to line up by putting your time on 0, just like you would on a breakout trade. Make sure you're on sim. All right, so put your software on sim to look at your tiers. Tiers are just a fancy way of saying orders. We have 2 orders above and below the price. All right.
Order submitted.
See, it's tight. So let's spread them. Let me turn it off for a second.
Order
And
canceled.
let's go to optional. Oh, you know what you can't get rid of on the trap trade? We can't get rid of the line. I'm going to ask the program to put that in the software next year. Next year. All right. Turning on the orders. Just see where they line
Order
up.
submitted.
Okay, here's our orders lining up for the gold trap trade. That YM is going to make a new low, I believe.
Order canceled.
Okay, so we have a trap on YM, and I'm going to set up a reverse continue also. Couple of positions, 35 target, 35 stop, same account, label it YM reverse continue, okay, and we're ready. A lot of risk in this
Order
trade.
submitted. Order canceled.
Let's make sure
10
our
minutes ago
time
until the
is
top of the
back
hour, we
to
get the US
the
existing
correct
home
time.
sales
That's why it
data.
triggered.
February forecast 3.88 million, prior 3.95,
9:59:55
3.91 million,
on our
with a range
trigger
of
time,
4.22 million to
not
3.61 million.
99.
Existing home sales change forecast minus
9:59:55 on our
0.77%,
trigger.
prior minus 8.4%.
The software sets the stop. If our stop is not in the right place, I had put 30, the software modifies it. Tier 1 is 40, Tier 2 is 75. So this has to move quite a bit to be a trade. It'll probably fill the first tier. Gold moves 35 ticks just randomly these days. Like I said, I would prefer to get filled to the long side. So I would like to see really good news on existing homes. Great news, which I don't think we'll get. That would theoretically possibly push gold down if gold was behaving the way it sometimes does when news comes out. Good news can push gold down, right? Now I want to show the existing home video, but I think we're going to get a fill on our magnet on the YM. Existing
Welcome everyone to
homes last quarter, last month, we had a trap very similar to today. It's a lot of risk. It's going to fill. I don't want to miss it because of the behavior. Immediately, the news
So the
comes
news
out.
is out.
The news is out. It chops a bit. And then price shoots up and pulls back for an instant big profit over
Exactly what's
$400.
happening.
All right. So that's what could happen in existing homes. You could get a move and a reversal. That's what I'm expecting. We were one tick away from a short fill on that YM. Now, would you agree there's not this powerful bursting down on the YM? I think it's going to test it, but it's really making it tough. It's really making it tough. I'd rather see, I would have rathered that went right down and tested because now I almost want to turn off the test. We're just getting these big reversal candles. This is a big stop. If you really want to do this right, your stop, it's almost 100 tick stop. You got to be above all this movement, I think. How big was that candle? It went 550, to 620. That was a 70 tick candle. So existing homes is at 10.
Five minutes ago to be getting to US existing home sales forecast 3.88 million, prior
I think it's going to
3.91
probably
million.
give us our fill now.
Existing home sales change forecast minus 0.77%, prior minus 8.4%.
And then don't forget, 11:30, we have WASD. 11:30, we have WASD.
Order
Okay,
submitted.
there's our fill. I think you got to at least be above the last wick. All right, got to be above the last wick. I'd be happy with a partial test of this low. But where you really should have your stop is up here. It's like an 80 tick stop, but that's where the stop should be. If it breaks that big move up, then it really negates, then I think it negates our test here. We're just not getting the follow through.
Order
There we
filled.
go. All right. We got it. We got it. Uh-huh. We got it. The new Bruce Hornsby single. It's called Ecstatic. We got it. Uh-huh. We got it. All right. So that was a good magnet. Now, I think we left a lot on the table by not trading. We did one scalp before it got there, and then we took the magnet. All right, but that was a perfect magnet. Now it should start generating signals, but we're going to deal with existing homes. So I'm going to just turn the magnet off and on. Now we got existing homes to deal with. This could be a tricky trade to manage. Let's see if we can undo the damage from our RTY this morning. So we actually had two opens. I consider that YM part of the open because that was our open setup, test of the low or test of the high. One of the things we've learned is that you really want to wait within that first 30
Just a heads up,
minutes to
11
get
says she'll be
the
hosting a press
YM
conference at
test
2
of the
p.m.
high or
time
low.
today.
That's one thing that we're seeing is it sometimes takes a while to get there,
Just a reminder of 11, she wasn't scheduled to speak
especially
for
today
today, but
because it
she's going to be
was
speaking at 2.
more than 100 points away. It's a lot. That is a lot of points away.
One minute ago now, lead with US existing home sales.
Gold is extremely volatile right now. There's a lot of risk on this existing homes trade.
Ten seconds.
Order submitted.
Okay.
Order canceled.
4.09 million.
Okay, filled
4.09
short. You're
million.
getting
High
a
and
lot of chop.
3.88 million. Prioritized 4.02 million.
Canceling the
canceled.
outer
Exchange,
tier,
1.7%,
moving my
1.7%.
stop to
High
safety.
the
No matter
forecast
what
of
happens,
minus
I cannot
0.77%.
lose.
Prioritized to minus 5.9%.
I'm going to
Prior
trail pretty
minus
big,
8.4%.
Order canceled.
and I could
Existing
not
home sales
get my
prioritized to
orders made
4.02
bigger.
million
That was a
and the original high of
$700 trade.
3.91 million.
Remember, we were down 5-ish, 580. We're up 215. That was $700 profit. That's what existing homes does. That's why I was willing to trade it, because that's the behavior we see usually in a much less volatile manner. That was very volatile because the gold market's very volatile. There was a response to the news, I believe. I think we got lucky in that gold started moving up
ECB settled 241 billion
and filled
euros
us short.
bond
And
purchases.
the move that
ECB
was
bond
taking
holdings
place in
PEP
gold
1.38
was
trillion
short.
euros
The
as of
news
last
was
week.
very
ECB
bullish.
settled
4
1.8
million,
trillion euros
4.09
public
million
sector bond
versus
purchases,
3.89.
and
And
forex
that
reserves rose 400
theoretically
million
should
euros
push
to
gold down, which it looks like it
335.5
did.
billion euros.
So that was a $700 trade because we were down 500 in that account. So we wind up with a very good market open and existing homes. Anybody have any questions? You want to see the video? Let's watch the video on that. All right, let me render it. It takes a minute. Give me 1 minute. So we have oil, US open. I am so frustrated that I mistyped in the time on my oil trade, because it would have been an unbelievable open this morning with that oil trade. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, should have paid attention to the time, right? I'm sorry nobody caught me and told me. All right. So, as a recap, I'm going to record this
Francis
recap.
Lescure asked IEA to work on scenarios for oil stocks.
I'm going to record this recap if I can. Where's my recorder? Now you're getting a long signal on the YM. Got to be careful. It did a pretty big sell-off. I'm going to keep my funded profit at the moment. YM is funded. All right. YM is funded. So the trap is over.
Voice news disconnected.
Let's look at what happened. So we doubled the trap size. All right. Let me get the video. So we had a lot of setups. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the wrong? Let me make sure I have the right video. Hang on. Sorry. Let me get the right video. Here we go. Sorry. My
1 2 1
mistake.
2.
Here's the
Testing,
right
1 2.
video.
Mic check.
All right, so we're looking at gold. We had our
Lescure
YM
asked
magnet.
IEA to study
All
oil
right.
stock volumes for possible release.
So just for
Q looks beautiful for a
knowledge,
magnet
I
today,
put the
doesn't it?
YM
Sitting at the
entry
view up.
below market
First thing
structure.
I'll do is put our reverse
I
continue
love,
on it.
and I'm no great genius when it comes to
MNQ
technical
reverse
analysis,
continue.
but I like to use market structure for magnet entries if we
Target
break our
50
structure here,
with a stop
there's a
of
good
75.
opportunity we're going to get to the low. The VWAP on the open was the
So
trade, though.
yesterday I had frozen.
That was the best trade. Would it have been a winner? We would have
breakout, our
entered
morning breakout
in this
on the
area
MNQ.
above structure. It was a good entry.
929.50.
It did go through it very fast. No, I think it would have been fine.
Can
Yeah,
survive this.
you might have
I
gotten
don't think I'd have
caught.
survived
It would have
that
been a
scalp.
profit. We only had one target on, so
Not
it
funded.
would have. It looks like
That's
to
the
me it
only
would have
good
been a
thing.
winner.
MNQ.
Okay, going to existing homes. We had our trap and we tested the levels. Okay.
Israeli Foreign Minister declines to comment when asked how long Israel anticipates war with Iran will continue.
RTY Raz, I think it's becoming consistent on the open. It might be that we might want to look at Langford's range trade as a better RTY open. So that's something we may explore. Here is our YM right before existing homes. The magnet worked
Israeli
right
Foreign
there.
Minister
Of
says
this
we're not
low.
looking for an endless war.
All right, right before existing homes, the magnet worked very nicely. It chopped a bit. It took its sweet time. Actually, not really. That short signal was a phenomenal VWAP signal.
And then don't forget,
After the
France's
open.
Finance Minister
11:30.
Lescure says
we
diesel
have
prices.
Waz.
Remember, I took a
particularly
small
affected
scalp
11:30
in
we
the
have
here
rise
Waz.
we've
somewhere
seen is already a lot.
and then waited for the magnet open,
Okay, there's our fill.
and it was a
So we have also posted out the US existing home
I
sales
think you
report
got
on
to
the
at
feed
least
for each
be
read through as
above
well.
the
okay. We
last-
went for 20
last
tick
wick.
target, and then
All right, got to be above
I
the
think
last
your
wick.
stop has to at least
I'd be
be
happy
above
with
the
a
wick of
partial
the candle
test of
you're
this
trading. But really, the stop should have been above 80 if you really want to see if it's going to work.
But I'm gonna. What you really should
a lot
have
of
your
risk.
stop is up here.
It's a lot of
Like an
risk.
80 tick.
But we didn't
stop.
have
Lescure
to
says
take
we're
it
ready to
because it
sanction
did.
excessive
If it
price
breaks
hikes.
Once
fuel
it
pump.
fit,
that
once it
big
started
move
going back
up,
down, it just gathered
then it
momentum.
really negates. Then I think it negates our test here. We're just not getting the follow through.
Lescure adds that the next step is the IEA governing board meeting beginning in a few minutes at 3 p.m. local time.
So here we go.
There we go. All right.
Bingo.
We got it.
All
We
right.
got it.
So
Uh-huh.
good magnet.
We
Now
got it.
existing homes. Okay, before the news. Let's watch before the news. So watching gold and the difficulty with a trap trade is you are thinking gold's up $114. I do want to be long. I'd prefer to be long. And the market
Gold
started moving down
It's extremely
before existing
volatile
homes,
right now.
where it looked like it was going to fill us long
There's a
on
lot
a
of risk
random
on this
move
existing
before the
homes
news.
trade.
Then it's calmed down. 15 seconds before the news, it got very quiet right here. Right there. Then it started moving up.
Okay.
Our orders go on
So
5
Israeli Foreign
seconds
Minister
before
when
the
asked
news.
about when and how the war with Iran could end.
We get a
says
very
we will
quick
consult with
fill.
Washington
A lot
when
of
the time
I
is
chop.
right.
canceled the second order so I could move my stop to
Canceling
safety.
the
That's
out
what I was doing up
here,
at the
the
top.
minute
moving
we
my
use-
stop.
Let
Now,
me
partners
explain.
think
There's
it is
a
appropriate to stop.
cancel button when you put on a trap trade. Your chart needs to be wide enough so you see the cancel button. If your two orders don't get filled, the second order is in the way of the stop being put into safety, right? So what do I mean? It means that I can't move my stop
Here's a typical trap trade. You have two orders above the orange arrow, which is current price, two orders below. If the market goes up, we sell. If the market goes down, we buy if it fills our order, right? Pierces the level, we get filled. If it only fills one order, one tier, look at the stop. The stop is blocked by the second order. Watch. It's going to go along and fill one tier. It truly looked like it was done going up.
Short, you're getting
Right here, I'm thinking to myself, I think we're done going up. Don't ask me why, but that's what I was thinking. Up here, I have a cancel button. That's part of the trap trade. And it's canceled the outer tier. The second order that's left is considered the outer tier, right? We had a tier of 40 and we had a tier of 75. This was our second order. It didn't get filled. I want to move my stop to safety, but I can't. That order's in the way. Now, if I do nothing, it does not affect whether the trade will work properly. If it hits my target,
S&P 500 index
my one
extends drop
target,
0.5%.
it'll take the trade out at a profit and the trade will end. But if I want to be able to trail and try and manage the trade, I got to move that order out of the way. I got to cancel it. So I press the cancel button. So watch what happens. We get one order filled.
a lot
I made a
of chop,
decision. Price was going to go in my direction.
canceling
Cancel the outer tier. Now I can move my stop to safety.
No matter what happens,
So I
I
move it
cannot
just a
lose.
teeny bit. So if it changes its
I'm
mind, it
going
goes
to
back
trail
up. I don't lose.
pretty big.
Now I'm thinking,
I could
I wanted
not
to
get
make my
my
target
orders made
bigger,
bigger. That was a
but it all happened so
$700
fast,
trade.
I couldn't. So
Remember,
it
we
hit our
were
target
down
for a very
5-ish,
nice profit.
580. We're up to
All
15.
right. Now, how big was that profit? We were down $525, it looks like. And now we're up to 15, so it was a $740 profit. Not a bad trap trade.
Okay.
That's existing homes. It's been a solid trap trade.
Okay.
There's been
build
one bad
short,
one
You're getting a
recently
lot of
in
chop.
January, I believe. It just went through
Canceling
the tiers.
the outer tier,
And hit
moving
the
my
stop.
stop to safety. No matter what happens, I cannot lose.
All right.
I'm going to trail pretty big. And
Any questions? So we'll be back 11:30 for WASD. Unfortunately, I don't have a prop account that lets me trade corn. I want a prop account that allows corn and bonds, which rules out Lucid, and I just haven't had time to look for one. So I'll trade soybeans on today's WASD in prop, and I'll probably just sim corn. Corn was terrible last month. Last month was a weird WASD. It was a strange WASD. So I'm thinking this week with the war, with everything going on, there's no way to know what's going to happen. I mean, really, it is just the way things are. This is like pandemic trading, even harder. It's harder. So, Roz, I wish I could tell you. Corn had been better than soy up until last month. So we have good setups, and I think that we should be fine in terms of risk. And I think that WASD always offers a good opportunity. So I love trading it, but it is sometimes, everything is sometimes challenging. I wish I wish I knew more. Let's just for fun before we go, if no one's in a rush, let's put our soybean chart on. And trading soybeans or corn is really no different than trading any other instrument. We do change our pivot levels, all right? I do on corn and soy. We go to data series, right click the chart, go to data series, and we change our trading hours to default 24/7. It's because of the way that the grain markets open and close. Apply it and OK. It slightly changes the pivots, the highs and the lows. So soybeans are up 350, nothing outrageous. On a 15-minute chart, very bullish on soybeans. So we want to see a sell-off before the news. That's what I would prefer to see. I'd like to, be able to move in any direction on the trade. That's what I always prefer, to be in the middle of the levels rather than at a high or a low. So you have soy, and we'll double check the correct contract. I think 5 is the correct contract. And then YM, we'll turn off our YM. We made our money on the YM open. So we'll go to corn. Corn in a fairly tight range also. I'm just thinking about if we look at, first of all, data series, do the same thing for trading hours, default 24/7. And then make yourself a reminder to go back to change the data series after WASD, or you can screw up a lot of your magnet trades. So corn making new lows at the moment. Looking at, so the next contract, I think, is 7. So go to tools, go to instrument lists, and add your corn and your soy. Go to futures, go to add ZC 0726. That's already in. Futures folder, add, I'm sure 5 is there, ZC 0526. It's there. I do the same thing with soy. Futures folder, add ZS 0726. Make sure it's there. It's there. All my corn and soy are there. So I like to check new market analyzer, and we'll do this in the WASD room. Check volume on the 2 contracts. ZC5, add instrument ZC7, and ZC5 is the correct contract, all right, as is ZS5. Much more volume. All right, so we're ready for WASD. WASD's not really on any of the calendars. So I'll see everybody back here at 11:30. Okay? See you back here for WASD. Thanks everyone on YouTube for streaming with us. We had a very good morning. Really, we saved a destructive RTY open and saved it with existing home sales. So that was good. See you on YouTube tomorrow.